I'm JP, the aspiring matriarch. My actual name is Janine Christie Paxton. My given name by my father is Maya Abina Umoja. And it only matters because those last two names would help you to understand why I make the claim that I do today. Uh, More importantly, we're going to talk about Oprah Winfrey and I, and my mother. Before my mother's passing, um, while she was what we would call otherwise healthy, she said that in passing once that she knew Oprah Winfrey. And it really didn't make any sense to me. Yet, if you understand the deep South and migration up from the Delta of the Mississippi up to Chicago, where she's at uh, today, there's a good possibility that they're around the same age and would have possibly known each other in some way. Maybe high school. I'm hearing something about Orange Mound, which is the high school that my stepfather went to. Uh, the thing here, though, is um, the president wanted to play Game of Thrones with me, and he needed a three-eyed raven, and that would be Oprah Winfrey. You see, in Game of Thrones, there isn't really an oracle representation except for the three-eyed raven. Okay? So the three-eyed raven begins calling on Bran after Bran is injured. Are you sticking with me? And call Bran into the three-eyed raven. Bran meets the brother and sister along the way, and the brother ends up Jojen, something along those lines. He ends up dying when they meet the children of the forest. The children of the forest get them inside, and that's when Hodor becomes Hodor, and Bran really starts to understand things from behind the scenes. Um, he gets the visions. And for those of you who don't watch Game of Thrones but understand other shows, if you understand Attack on Titan by way of anime, then Bran is as similar to Aaron. Um, and Aaron um, has a brother by the name of Zeke. It's Zeke who is throwing meteors at this planet at this time by way of representation. If I become Bran and the three-eyed raven, but I'm on wheels, I can get around what I want to, right? I can meet up with my fam and then we can handle some shit the way that John and Bran did, you see. And later on, Arya, uh, what's that girl name? Sansa and Bran would judge Littlefinger. Littlefinger was in love with the mother. Now, respectfully, I've already shown you how there are those who are in love with me and attempted to manipulate my family, i.e., Daniel, um, a couple of celebrities, um, in a host of ways, right? Think of Liza Aaron. She loved Littlefinger so much she'd do anything, even kill Sansa, me, so she could have her, right? He kills Liza. The family judges him for having basically been the one to set up the entire family. So the question right now is, who set up my family? If not Oprah Winfrey, who would have known about my gifts and abilities coming out of the deep South the same time as my mother and have gotten all the way up to Chicago and the industry, unbeknownst to me, but still been able to circle back and make contact with my family members through the years, put them on, put their questions on shows, their favorite people on, whatever it is. John, it's time for you to show and prove your gifts. And you have to do this. No assistance. We'll be listening. Matter of fact, you won't be able to have headphones. Just you and your phone. Sit in the chair. In fact, the 30-day challenge, go somewhere. You can't be around no people for 30 days. Yet every day, you need to send us out a communicate by way of your phone. And let's see whether or not you got them gifts you were saying you got. Now, if you can't do that, time to stop. That's for all parties involved. Y'all been using God's name in vain. You've been told not to foretell in this way and or cast a spell. Today, they spell a cast. You see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Megan Thee Stallion on TV, Oprah Winfrey owns a network, put you on by way of Harpo. Hello. Now play it in reverse. A big cycle, like a washing machine. You get it now? You see what I'm saying? It's none of the stigmata. It was on my hands too. There's still some there. The industry sacrificed me. They poisoned me and waited for me to die. And when my heart stopped, they thought I was dead and they didn't put a bullet in my head. So once they see me pop up on the internet and you can see it, there's a particular one of my live streams where they're like, oh, Jason, what the hell are you doing here, right? Um, you can then go on to see them use a frequency weapon on me to attempt to put a frequency bullet in my head, so to speak. That's compounding the amnesia, which is why I began lying to the person I'm living with, saying that I remember everything. And at that time, I didn't. I did call the authorities. It's just, how do you tell the authorities that you've been sacrificed without leaving a receipt? You see, everything about my YouTube channel. Channels, Stark Fitness are the receipts. I bear witness in the event that I die out here. So what I have posted on the internet is my true and living testimony at this time. Oprah Winfrey and her beehive won't stop, I don't believe. They've been trying to kill me for half a century, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you contain the hive, as long as the hive mind is alive, the hive is alive. You have to kill the queen. Freezer. And I have to put her in the freezer. And then once she's in the freezer, respectfully, you have to do what you do with ice and crush that bitch. I'm speaking metaphorically, not literally, so to speak. Yet, by way of the spell she cast, uh, it's easy to unmask the fact that Oprah Winfrey is a witch. You get it? She's been using witchcraft by way of the uh, industry, entertainment, television, to weave a narrative about Black people, along with Bill Cosby and others, which is why she's under judgment at this time. She won't say it aloud. She pretends to be very, very liberal. Simultaneously, you ever notice the clothes that Oprah wears? Do you ever notice what she encourages? White parties. See, you ever notice who she keeps a beat with? I ain't talking about the cauliflowers. Calm down. Yeah, my people. I'm talking about the who believe in supremacy. Supremacy leads to superiority. And what Miss Winfrey is about to find out is that I am a superior being by way of intellectual property. The hive is attracted to my mind at this time. Basically, she's dying out. She's played out. She did that to herself, though. Everybody already knew, thanks to Monique. You see. So, Monique, it is okay for you to stop. I don't mean that in a way to be rude or disrespectful, sister. I mean, you can be as funny as you want to be. Just don't beat up on the skinny people. Because we ain't all like Oprah Winfrey. And as a chef, I can confess that I'm a better cook than all you motherfuckers. So, let's not cook each other. Let's support each other. Let's leave DL and his family alone. Let's not be the rest of it. Let's stop what the Judases start. Comedians have a beautiful way of telling the truth and keeping people going through the hardest times in our lives. Arnez J, I appreciate you every day, whether you know it or not. My cousin Demario was murdered. We sat in his room and listened to your comedy show on a damn loop and smoked weed in Memphis and remembered. For that, I thank you. Whatever else it is you did in the industry, it's none of my business. It's not my business what you think of me. I'm taking this opportunity to give the flowers to those who I believe have earned them. D.L. Hughley, you're funny ass. From the first time I heard you say, God, kill mama, I understood, right? I understood the assignment thing. The 5% are for young men and women and children like you. Back in the day, you were the few and few who would have otherwise had a chance to make it out with less scars. And then life got hard. Nobody told those of you who would begin making money in these last 40 years what it would come with. You knew there was a black tax. You didn't know about the rest of it. You didn't understand that to hang on to your wealth, you would have to deny those you felt um, deserved flowers to. But you looked at MC Hammer and didn't know what else to do. So you adopted the Michael Jordan method in your head, even if not out loud. And you said, as soon as I get to a place of comfortability, I'm going to return to my city and invest in my people. Oprah Winfrey left her home city and ended up in Chicago. And then she invested in it. And it invested in her and Michael Jordan. And then you get Space Jam. Space Jam, where a bunch of talented black men put their hand on a basketball and aliens. See, dark magic industry, bringing aliens back from strange places, purging those same aliens and not sending them back to where they came from, creating a new movie with the Disney villains thing, then LeBron James in Space Jam 2, you see. Because now the villains had identities, where before they were just spirits at a basketball. What's that? Isn't the sun just one big basketball? Then you get the moon magic by way of the Eric the Badus of the world, what they that takes you to American Horror Story. Angela Bassett, Beyonce, Voodoo, The Princess and the Frog. I'm the princess. They keep sending me frogs. I won't go though. I know the whole story. I know what's involved in destiny. I've already met the fates, and yours are sealed today. There's no judgment left for me. I'm innocent. They have been trafficking me, even spiritually, since I was an infant. A way to help you understand it. There are women in the world who won't let you touch their pregnant belly. That's because they know it as a transference of energy. Oddly enough, when I was pregnant with my eldest son, and my mother would go to touch my pregnant belly, he'd stop moving. They shared a spiritual connection. After his birth and her passing, my ex-husband would go downrange for the first time. And that's when I would first exhibit um, signs of independence and of fear. I started with my knife under my pillow. But I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked over and my son was staring up at the ceiling, talking. So what I knew to be my mother's spirit. That gave me a sense of comfort. And once he, babbled himself out, I went on to sleep. That's how we get the spoon theory in me. That little dude used to steal spoons out of the kitchen. It didn't matter. That was his comfort blanket. A spoon. Big spoon. Little spoon. Now he has his own spoon. He's got a daughter to take care of. I'm proud of him. I know he'll be an amazing father. I saw it in him. From the very first time that we did a fire drill at the daycare, Dante took immediate charge. See, he's always known his own destiny. He got rid of his father's name and named himself Dante. The rest of it, it's up to him to tell you about. That's the point of this. We have a family history all unto ourselves that even their father doesn't know. And even he can't go. I haven't loved him my whole life. I've loved Dante all his life. And Loney and Grandpa to infinity and beyond. So when the president came at me with this whole Game of Thrones thing, I was like, bruh, seeing is believing. Lady Ravenscroft clawed her eyes out when she saw her eldest born die. It was the equivalent of when I heard Dante at 14 tell me his father had punched him in the chest with a closed fist. Right in the solar plexus. He could have killed my baby. God stayed my hand that day because I was gone. And we're here today because he wouldn't give me a divorce the easy way. He wanted to do it the hard way and lie on my name, vilify me, deny me my rights as a wife of a veteran and mother and daughter. Tell you all that I was done that before because of what I did to survive him. If you've never survived domestic abuse, sexual assault, and attempted murder in your own home by the person that you slept next to, I wish you would judge me. My ancestors harbor my feelings on my behalf. So if you feel like you're getting mollywopped by a ghost, It's because Anansi and family have shown up for me. B. Call on the Orisha, and you get me. And I bring weapons of mass destruction like you have never seen. Nature, bitch, is calling. Meteors, earthquakes, random storms in the middle of nowhere. Ask me if I fucking care. I am the physical embodiment of the spirit of the planet. I told you that the universe was a black mother and she was pissed at you 6 years ago. She rebirthed me in the belly of this beast at this moment in history so that I would bring in the reckoning. You want to call in God. Yeah, I called in God, chaos, the star, all of them in alignment with me. Keep thinking you can pull on my identity and make me do a motherfucking thing. Obey. Day is that day. I dare you to arrest me for being racist. I dare you to arrest me for being a terrorist. I dare you to martyr me. You remember what happened when you martyred Jesus? I got blood on my Jesus piece. I don't believe in rituals. I don't need Bibles. I don't need candles. I don't even need smoke signals. Aji, I'm gonna tell you a little known secret about the Muslim. Anyone who knows actual Islamic law knows that the caliphate was meant to be led by a female head of state. Don't get slapped in the face. I don't have to reach over and touch you. My ancestors have touched you. I got this partner by the name of Peter. He's having surgery today. He didn't know I was listening. But Peter deserves a miracle for helping bring another sister into alignment who refused to listen when I said it's about kindness. Peter's kindness deserves to be rewarded, you see. However, Peter was under judgment when he went into surgery. I'm passing that judgment on to the Ope next to me. See, now he can sit with the penance of himself and Peter for touching my anointing and questioning my innocence. You see? And that's how it works for me. And those who keep a beat with me, even in the midst of our iniquities. When we go to God and come to me, Jesus, correctly, there is no blood I cannot clean. You see, that's the true anointing bestowed upon me. That's why at this time you're beginning to realize that when I say my spiritual family, that actually means something. There are people who are my family in spirit by way of the sod. Remember, y'all said that the gods came down here and lay with humans in the form of other humans. And then you said the angels came down here and lay with women. And that's the Nephilim, their children. Well, if the gods became human to lay with humans, then they either made humans or demigods or semi-gods. And then there's me. a full blown deity walking amongst you on this planet. God couldn't plan this any better than I did. It's what's known as universal alignment and informed consent. When I was murdered, poisoned by what you call the Illuminati, God said, "My bad. I'm gonna be back, but before I go over here and handle this, what you want? Think really, really, really big." I said I wanted the galaxy. He said, "Okay, put a pin in it. I'm gonna go over here and handle some business. I'll be back in a minute." God's minute and y'all's minute is different. Don't worry about it. Point of a bank. God believes in informed consent and free will. So first, he had to go and chastise all of my siblings by way of the other Orisha for playing around with Beyonce and all them in the first place and not recognizing me. But if you know the story of the Orisha, then you know that they believe one of us. Oh shoot, that's the energy she began calling on. Oh shoot, energy. That'd be me. I am the beauty that lights the world. So we start calling on ocean energy. Y'all start seeing her as prettier than me. No big deal to me. Because look at how her life turned out. See? And I knew this. Because I don't do any of that. And she's a genius. Okay. So back to it. The music industry. The triangle of three people or three organizations, entities, those things. The government, the industry, Scientology, the government, the industry, media, the people, the brujas in this city, and their jealousy towards me. It's all the same thing. And when you understand metaphysics, if you get the science behind it, and you recognize why at this time in history, we are indeed under judgment. This ain't no limited tickets type shit. This is the confluence of energy. Eventually, it becomes congruent, and it becomes a current, and that becomes an undercurrent, and that undercurrent becomes the undergirding of society. Yeah, so for the longest time, y'all believed in black magic. So now you got to believe in black Jesus. That's me. Missing my teeth and everything. Never judge a book by its cover. Clamping. There's gold in them. They're huge. I'm from Tennessee. Yeah, good job. My godfather worked for Delta Gas. Ooh, specifically the fuel lines at the airport. Didn't Delta just have like some shit fall out of the sky? Could it be that they may be holding on something that belongs to me? I thought I'd never know. They've been using it to do whatever, but guess what that means? The gas in this country belongs to me. The equivalent being cannabis for me. I don't drive, but I do smoke weed, and I don't have no gas. So guess what? Your gas prices are going to continue to go up, while your access to gas will continue to go down, and you will see no relief at the pumps. Until I see relief, I should never have to negotiate for my medicine, the things that help me run myself and the planet. You want to keep me and the planets in alignment, you should keep me at peace at all times. It's easy work. I'm Jesus. You know, don't believe me. Keep trying to cheat me. Jesus turned over tables, is what you know. I guess you forgot that Jesus hanged out with pimps and prostitutes and homeless people. Jesus turned water into wine. That's why I said Jesus was a chef by trade. That's why even if you give me a can of beans, I eat good every day. So I can teach you about episode. Shout out to my, I call them my secret survival agents. These are men and women in organizations who listened to me and took the time to see to my actual physical needs being met, including getting my medical marijuana. I am thankful to them daily because they helped me to achieve the overall victory of being able to show and prove that you can use cannabis as medicine to heal the mind, body, soul, and spirit. And God is about forgiveness, love, patience, and above all, prayer. It's just not on your knees. Why are you wasting time on your knees when you could walk and talk with God? Seeing is believing, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna- you can't be blasphemous. You can't. I even met Saul. He is my Paul. And he'll never be a Paul bearer. Not for me. He's a homie. Sweet on me. Yeah. Simultaneously. Some things aren't up to me. I do this stuff. It's truly my belief that my ancestors will still say no. I want you to imagine something. There are a world full of gentlemen of all races who find me attractive because of my ability to keep going. Not my gifts, not specifically my looks, so they do help, but the fact that I am a resilient, business minded woman is attractive to a lot of people. So working in close proximity, that damn near always comes with something. It's just in the world that we live in today, and everything that we see, as militant as you believe me to be, did you really see me standing next to a white man? One who used to fully believe in white superiority over me. You see, it's not about the optics. It's about whether or not the world is unbiased enough for us to be able to enjoy a life together. You have to understand how far the city of Tucson has come. They have gone from being a sundown town to being under judgment for 50 years for segregation in the schools, to keeping a beat with me on how we can end homelessness and poverty in this city. That's like Harriet Tubman working with the rebels in the South. Not to keep slavery going, yet to figure out to keep the world going until we could figure out a way out of slavery. And you get Uncle Tom, and he buys his people out of slavery. That's why there are those of us who were born free. Otherwise, that's what I mean by the foundation of Black America. You see, there are those who are the children of free slave descendants, like my ex-husband's family. They deserve reparation because they're still living with the consequences of slavery today. Yet there are those of us who were indigenous, whom they stole from this land, took over to England, brought back over to Newfoundland, and that's whom they turned into your African slave. So when they ask, are they African? That's what they mean. Are they from the original African region, right? And how is it that England, the Crown, or anybody claims ownership over another human being, to include the Saudis and the Chinese, who have ownership over your debt, which is indeed your digital DNA. And now you've given them your DNA by way of 23andMe. That girl, Theros, turned it into digital DNA. They connected it, created a frequency beam big enough to do the damn thing, hit you with the COVID beam. Then y'all got the booties. Then they started doing it with the Hadron Collider over there banging up different photons, right? That's affecting you. And rather than protecting you, they are killing themselves. One frequency at a time, yeah. If they're gonna turn that thing off. But when they turn that thing off, y'all go. So let's get back to Oprah. On that Ozempic, that's how she's been. When you take her off of it, especially if you yoink her, if you yoinked me off opioids, she will indeed go crazy. She keeps stuck up with weed and then she's smoking and she's doing it behind the scenes. Martha Stewart over there, the long claim with Snoop on for putting cannabis in food and teaching it to the people. But guess who can do that? Now y'all can't use it. Everything. Everything happens for a reason. My mother passed away of stomach cancer in 1996. I said then that she needed access to cannabis. The family disagreed. Here we are looking at Oprah Winfrey. She don't like weed. We've accepted Bill Clinton now because he puffed but didn't inhale. We accepted Obama because he took but didn't smoke. So we're at that moment in history where you can accept me and all of my medical knowledge and recreational clarity. It ain't the weed. So that's the gateway to the seat in this country. It's Oprah Winfrey, the access to power, and them crack babies from the 80s. They grew up. She absorbed them into the hive of her reality, and then she sold you Fenty by way of Rihanna and fentanyl by way. Well, I'll let y'all do your due diligence. But if you know anything, then you know that there's fentanyl powder in the streets, and that's what got people doing the lean. You know, the shoulder lean. And they had y'all drinking lean mixed with what? Methamphetamine? Mm. Either in that glass or G that you see on the street, that thanks to me, you all are surviving because I told them to switch or at least lace it with a little bit of Adderall, ADHD medication. Because all you were doing was self medicating normal shit because these people wanted to make you abnormal. Yes, fentanyl makes you. And then you will toot your tail up. How do I know? Because I've spoken directly with men who had not been on it. And then all of a sudden, they became gay on Tuesday and Thursday. Think I'm lying? I can produce people, receipts, and evidence. Okay. Now you take these people who are downtrodden in the midst of their iniquities and you give them some money to come against me, $175 to produce a thing. They get no royalties, no names, no credit, so you don't know. I do though. Because I keep an eye on the industry coming after me. I am not Lady J. Bull, honey, but I will reap the benefits of your deceit. $500,000 that I heard. What was that? Hot 97.5. Say word. I bet you they'll produce receipts and show and prove that money went to a white lady and not me. Mm, there you go. I'm pushing industry boundaries. Mhm. They ain't want y'all to know about the paper plate either. What up, Charlemagne? DJ Envy. Safari. Safari. Know someone here in Tucson. Do y'all know who it is? DJ Jamar International. The Enough is Enough movement. That's their baby. They birthed it right here. I was the one who was on stage that day. They took it and they ran with it without my permission. They were not allowed to come back to me or my channel and steal my intellectual property and sell it to you as the target movement without me. That's why you think Jamal Bryant was leading this movement, but the people on the street know the truth. And they've been keeping the beat with me. So why Tarjay still ain't eating, baby. And Jamal Bryant is under judgment along with your politicians and your pastors and every other person who has sold you this world of goods throughout the last half century. Now you believe me? I don't give a shit. I'm not really asking you. It was rhetoric. Just like everything, they have been beating you. Welcome to being the new fossil fuel. I will use you as food at my leisure. You become the fertile soil that I plant fresh cannabis in and restore peace, love, and justice to those who earn, the Purple Heart Posse. And so,